Welcome, everyone, to today's podcast. I am here with Greg and Jessica, and we have two guests that are going to be coming on very shortly. But I figured we'd open up with a few awesome things that are happening with the races coming up and also talk about a new sponsor that we have.
Yeah, Kate, we this past week with Amascog Beverages, we are introducing the new sponsor we have with Truly Hard Seltzer.
I'm drinking watermelon kiwi.
Yeah, and I've got
Right
a
here.
mango.
All right, so I'm going to do the
Open
honors.
one up.
With, you like that crank?
There you go.
Hold on, before you do that, got a cheers.
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 Thank you.
This one's good. Reminds me of summer.
Summer.
And we also have the New Hampshire State Lottery.
We do. We also are announcing that we did sign with the New Hampshire Lottery. They've come on board to be part of our social media in 2022.
That's great. And you knew all about this because you're working right side with him.
I sure did.
So before we bring on our guests here today, anything we want to review or go over before our special guests come on?
No, there hasn't been a lot of changes since we were on here back in February, but we are within 2 weeks. Like we've said before, Kate, it's coming fast. We have been working a lot, and we'll get into that with Jessica soon with the Kid Zone and all the new apparel stuff, and also the National Anthem contest that she started.
Mm-hmm. Very excited about that. I guess then, without further ado,
Yeah, let's bring on our two drivers that are going to be in the Whitcomb 5 Series, Sam Ramo and Tyler Leary.
all right, and you guys can introduce yourself and make sure that I like your hat, by the way.
Thanks.
Both are looking good. Alrighty. So we got
Tyler Leary
Tyler
and Sam Ramo.
and Sam. And so, how old are both of you, if I may ask?
I'm 25 years old.
25?
Yep.
I'm 19.
19. Oh boy, you're young.
Yeah.
You're young. Are you one of the younger racers?
Yeah, I have been for a long time.
You might want to.
Yeah, I have been. Sorry.
You want one of the longer. Yeah. Well, there's some younger races or younger racers, I should say, in the group. But is 25 about the average? Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen guys that have been, 15, 16 years old coming up through the series in the modifieds and stuff. But I would say, Tyler, you and Sam, you got to say what, 18 to 26 is pretty much the ballpark.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty good group of kids that are about 18, 19 years old. I mean, there's definitely the group of kids like Tyler can probably vouch for this as well as, I started at Claremont Motor Speedway when I was 13 in the tour type division. That's probably pretty unheard of, but Tyler also races at Stafford, so there's some younger kids in the SK Lights and the SK divisions that will definitely be coming this way, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm hearing that and everything, and there are a lot of good shoes coming up through the other series and stuff, and that's part of what we're trying to do is bring something from the bigger series and stuff down to the crate motors, because crate motor racing right now is pretty exciting, and there's a lot of good talent in it.
Mm-hmm. And were your parents into racing?
Yeah, my dad raced. My mom's side of the family was not into racing, but my dad's family and my grandfather raced at Monadnock.
Yeah, and you?
Yeah, my dad actually raced at Riverside Park in the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that background. He did a lot of late model stuff, some open wheeled stuff. So I kind of worked my way up through the ranks and started with super stocks, as they called them back in the day, at Monadnock, and then went to a crate modified and now an SK modified at Stafford. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you go back to bring up Sam. I know Sam's running 3 or 4 of the Wheeling Modified Tour events this year.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to run, it should be a total schedule of 4 races. I think we're going to try to do Monadnock, Lee, Claremont, and New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yep.
We should be able to maybe try to pull something else off, something pretty exciting, like an open show on the end of the year with that same car with like
Right.
a Thompson 300 or something. So
Right.
we'll try to do something like that. But
That's the World Series in October, right?
yes, yeah, correct. But we've put a lot of focus into this Whitcomb 5 series, and it's pretty exciting. I mean, my team built a new car for this series. Try to go have some fun in these 5 races.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and that's another reason why we did bring the series, is to bring hopefully some of the tour guys down and run with the crate guys, and give them that ability to run with some of the tour guys, similar to what the Cup guys did and when they came down with the Xfinity and all that, where they run with some of those guys. They run them with the trucks, and then they get the experience of running with the guys at the top, and then because they're hoping to progress, through the series and up through the top, and then they're getting that ability to run with the more experienced guys and learn faster. It's a quicker learning curve for them.
So what does your schedule look like nowadays? Up and coming to the race, couple weeks. What do you guys do?
Madness, just absolute chaos. I mean, Sam and I were kind of just talking about it quick before we came in today, and our crate car is still torn apart. I'm waiting on a rack. The rear just got finished up, so it's crazy. 2 weeks to go. It's kind of like the whole March Madness thing, but we're really excited. A lot of anticipation building, and just can't wait to get it to the track.
Yeah. Any modifications or?
We kept it pretty much the same. We struggled a little bit after our 2 wins last year, and then the last race of the year, actually the 125 lapper.
Yep.
Last year we had some success. We found some stuff, so just excited to get back to the track and hopefully just advance more on the improvements we made towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. You in the same boat as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's always crazy this time of year with trying to get all these cars ready. And, we're going to race the Whitcomb 5, but my first race is the day before. The Tri-Track Open Modified Series is actually going to Monadnock the day before. So that will be my first show. So our focus are on those 2 cars that I'm going to race that weekend. And my crate car is pretty much ready to go, but my open show car is not quite there yet.
So you have 2 cars?
We have a total of 3 cars. I have a wheel modified door car as well.
Okay.
So, it's just crazy this time of year trying to get everything ready, and just a lot of work over the off season that will hopefully pay off the first weekend.
Do a lot of your friends get into the racing as well, or?
I have a few buddies who are into it. My really good buddy Casey, I met him at Stafford. He helps out, but honestly, a lot of the kids I was friends with in high school had no interest at all.
It's kind of
I'm actually from Hatfield, Massachusetts,
okay.
So the western part of the state. But it's hard to find people that are into the sport nowadays, and that's tough. And we love what Greg and Jessica are doing for the sport, because it's trying to get new fan base, new drivers in, and that's what this sport really needs.
Like Jess says, I'm working on the sponsors. I'm working with the podcast stuff. I'm working with you with that, Kate. I'm working with Jack Arute and Dave to get the PA, all the public announcement stuff done. Bring all the guests and all that stuff in, and then with the hospitality. But the key to it is what Jessica's doing that we really want to do with this is bring in the new fan, bring in the kids with the kids zone stuff, bring in and put people in the seats, but have and entertain them. The racing entertains them. It's the downtime that we've always talked about, that, whether it's people with qualifying, they will watch qualifying and stuff, but the kids, they got a place to go where they can watch, do what they want to do. We're going to have, Jess is going to talk about the kids zone with the coloring contest and some new stuff that she's brought into it and everything. And then the national anthem part that we're doing with the contest. So there's a lot of stuff that we're doing that is, that goes along with the racing that keeps the people entertained for the, say, 6-7 hours that they're there. Because the racing is, let's say, 4 hours of the show, maybe 5. But then we got to, keep them entertained and keep everybody, interested in what's going on.
Sure. Yeah. And do you guys either have a warm-up anthem that you guys listen to, or something that's in your ears or you're listening to, or good luck charm or something that you guys bring with you?
I don't know. Not really.
No?
When you're at the track, I'm sure Sam feels the same way. You're kind of just like, you're in a focus mode, and you kind of just, all the background and outside noise, just, you kind of just keep it out and just focus on what you're doing and the changes you need to make on the car. And I always thought about that, like, oh, should I listen to some, heavy metal before I get in the car or something? But it's like, you never have the time.
Right. That's something that else we're going to bring to keep the drivers, they have their focus and they have to stay focused. I mean, for that whole afternoon and stuff, because it goes by quick.
Right.
It does. And what we're trying to do when we bring them in, we're going to do a redraw after qualifying and stuff, where they're going to draw at the start-finish line out of we're not sure exactly how we're going to have them draw yet. There's one talk about maybe having 10 briefcases where they have to draw a briefcase and their number's sitting in that.
Oh.
So it's kind of like
Deal
a
or No
money
Deal?
thing. Yeah, I mean, it's something to add to it, excitement and stuff for the fans and stuff, and see what a driver's going to draw. You qualify first and you draw number 10, you start in 10th.
Yeah.
Some drivers might like that because they're like, okay, the first 75 laps, I'm going to kind of bide my time and save my tires for the last 50 laps. That's what I'm curious to see, is how these drivers are going to say, all right, we got to go out and qualify hard because it's going to be supposedly 37 to 40 cars show up.
Sure.
We're taking 24, maybe 26, but I think 24. Is there going to be a consi race
Yeah.
for 2 or 4 spots?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of strategy played with this, and they're getting 5 tires.
Yeah.
That's it. So you got qualifying to run, you've got practice to run, which most of you guys will probably run practice tires from either last year or whatever tires that you have.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
And then they'll throw their stickers on for qualifying. They'll so that'll be a heat cycle right there. Then they're going to go down and they're going to get ready to run the 75 laps, and they're going to have a strategy for that. They're going to run. I bet you some guys will run. And tell me if I'm wrong, guys. There's some guys that'll sit there and say, okay, I'm going to run this in 3 25-lap segments. I'm going to run really soft for the first 25. I'm going to pick it up for the next 25. And then the last 25, I'm going to start going so I can get a good spot to start for the last 50. I mean, that's pretty much, if I own the car, that's probably what I'd tell my driver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're starting in the front row, if you're starting in the rear.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bide our time. Guys want to go by you, let them go.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be there at the end.
Mm-hmm. And so you guys will be racing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be, but it's all it's just a lot of fun. So there's no hard feelings. I mean, I hope me and Tyler both come out of it in a good spot.
All in
and,
one shape,
yeah, I
right?
hope we have fun
Yep.
doing it, and this is supposed to be fun, and it's giving these guys who run in the weekly series at Monadnock, Lee, Hudson, Claremont, wherever they run, even some guys from Stafford and Waterford might come up, and it's giving all these guys to come up with a car that might not cost as much as a wheel and modified tour car or an open car because due to the motor, and it's giving them a chance to run for races that the purse is just as much, if not more.
Right. And that's the other thing. We're trying to bring what they do with the bigger modified series, not just the Cup series, down to the grassroots. I was talking with some people at NASCAR yesterday about that. That my focus with this is, let's get the grassroots of NASCAR back to where it used to be. In the 80s, 90s, and even the late 70s. Where it was fun. It's always been fun, but I think we've all missed. Something's been missing for the last 10 or 15 years, and let's try to bring some of the stuff that they do with the bigger series to the crate motor series, and that's what we've tried to do with this. And I can't say that we have done it because we haven't even raced event number 1 yet. Mm-hmm. And I've got people already saying, hey, how do we get one of those races? I'm like, well, we don't know what we got yet. Mm-hmm. I got an idea, but we'll see. We're going to do the best we can with what we've got. For May 1st, we have a lot of ideas and things that we want to do, but we got to get event number 1 off the ground.
So what do you guys do on the off season? Where do you store the car and all the other stuff that you guys do? Is it mostly downtime? Is it school for you, or is it just jobs and working? Just wait until the racing season comes again?
Yeah, usually like after race season for us, I know I take some downtime and spend time with family and friends and all that. And usually right after the holidays, we really get going on it. Start taking the cars apart if they need to. And this year was a little earlier. We had a really busy season. We built a new SK, well, not new to us, SK for Stafford, and had a lot of maintenance stuff to do on our Monadnock car. So I just go snowmobiling a lot in the winter and have some fun, and that's what it's about. And we start working on the cars, January, February, around then. Start getting ready.
Does your family help out?
My dad is a huge help. Yeah. My buddy Casey helps, but 75-85% of the work I do myself on the cars. It's just how I like it. I guess I'm stubborn.
And what about you? Anything off season that you do in particular?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Tyler said, we kind of just let it die down until the holiday season is over, and then obviously I'm a college student, so I spend a lot of time at school, which means I'm an hour and a half away from home. So that takes me out of the race shop quite a bit, but I'm pretty lucky to have some guys that are in the shop on a daily basis. My dad's there a lot. We have a couple, 3 or 4 guys that come down. Well, one of them comes down every night in the week and one day on the weekend. And then we got a couple, 3 or 4 guys that come down on select nights to work with my dad and Paul Smith, who works in the shop. And so it's just kind of, I go snowmobiling and fishing and try to go on vacation in the winter because there's no time for vacation during the summer.
Got that right.
No, there's not. We're all used to it, right?
Yeah.
When was your last vacation,
Greg?
Greg?
I don't know, Jess. When was that? Last June?
Last
Yeah,
June
we
went
took a week at the Cape. And matter of fact, it was 6 days. We came even home early from that, a day early. Just to, then we needed a vacation from the vacation.
Well, speaking of Jess and everything, you've been doing such a phenomenal job with bringing in the younger generation, bringing in families, bringing in the whole thing that just is astonishing. So I want to thank you for being so inclusive to I think all the other groups that are making these guys something to come out for.
Yeah, thanks. It's been fun. It helps that I have children of my own, so they're kind of, they've been tapped to run the kids zone. So the little ones you see will be mine. Free labor. But no, so we've got last year we did the coloring.
Yeah.
And then we had, the sandbox.
Yep.
So
And
this
we'll
year.
have that again this year.
Yeah, we have both of those this year, but I've also, my daughter's 17. She does not want to color. She didn't want to play in the sandbox. So we have Yardzy. We've got some big Jenga blocks. We've got cornhole. So there's stuff for the older kids, the adults too. I mean,
Yeah.
drunken cornhole. Hello.
Right.
Right.
Buy one of the shot glasses. Drink
Right.
some Truly. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be great, and we'll just keep building. I'm always open to suggestions for whatever people may want. So yeah. And then we have the national anthem.
And we have
Yep.
face painting, I think, is
Yes.
new this
Oh
year.
my goodness. Yes, that's so new.
Yeah.
It's not used to it yet. It's called Trading Faces, and the woman's name is Monica. So yeah, she's going to be there painting faces. I think she said her prices start at $10.
Okay.
But it can be
Like lions and
a total face paint. So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's, again, keeping the kids, entertained and everything.
That's the
and then
key.
it keeps the parents watching the race if they want, and they know their kids are going to be entertained and taken care of. And I think what got away from the and how we missed at least 1 or 2 generations in racing, is we got away from all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the parents, especially when you got two parents working now, and they want to go to the races and the kids don't want to go, then they end up not going because the kids, and they don't want to pay for a babysitter. We're going to bring it to where, okay, let's bring the kids to the track. Give them something to do while you guys are enjoying the racing. And then hopefully let's get the kids involved and interested in the racing, because you know what? We need somebody else to sit in those cars and run them around the track in another 10, 15 years.
well, it's a little bit longer of a day than maybe most people know.
It
It's
is,
not a
and
football game. It's
well, what do they say? That a 15-year-old and younger kid, how long can you keep their attention?
I don't want to guess.
Nowadays, I don't even want to know. I'd be afraid to even guess it. But if we can keep things rolling and keep it entertained, and the other thing that we're bringing to it is we're going to bring, like the Wheeling Tour does, we're bringing the autograph session to it, where we had all the guys that signed up for the Whitcomb 5. If you signed up before April 4th, and both of these guys did, you'll be in the autograph book. And we made an autograph book that Jessica's put together. It's being actually in print right now. We should probably have it by next week. And she did an awesome job with that.
So would these guys be able to sign it?
And these guys will all be in it to sign it, and the fans can buy them, and there'll be an autograph session after qualifying, after the drawing that they do to find out where they are. So drivers that win the pole and they start 10th, they're going to be sitting there, maybe, and maybe they're like, oh, good, now I'm starting where I want to start. So it'll be fun, but it's going to bring the kids and even the adults to the drivers. And they might even say, "Hey, what's your strategy?" They'll get them intertwined with the drivers.
That was not how it was last year. So I'm glad you brought that in.
Right.
Because it was like a fence, and that was you kind of
Right.
just looked on. To
And
what,
in the weekly series, Sam and Tyler, you can vouch for this. They don't do that. The Wheeling Tour does. They have and I based it a little bit off of that. but that's what it is. It's all NASCAR stuff, and I'm like, let's bring that down to the to our series and make it part of it, and it makes it fun. If you keep the fans, especially the kids, you want the kids to be involved with the racing. Let them find a favorite driver. It might be Sam, it might be Tyler, it might be somebody else, one of the other drivers. But if they get hooked to that driver, they're gonna go wherever that driver. They will. I remember when I was a kid, I had my favorites. I had Brian Ross, I had Kenny Bouchard, I had Ronnie Bouchard. I would always tell my father, "Where are they racing? I want to go watch." We go to Stafford, we go to Thompson, we'd go to Oswego. Wherever they were going, that's where I wanted to go. That's what we're trying to do here. And these guys get a kick out of it too, because they're like, all these kids running around. Oh, there's Tyler. Oh, there's Sam. and it does. It's the same thing that they do up at the top series. So that's what we're trying to do.
And so what are we doing with the national anthem? That's a contest now, right?
Yes, I have turned it into.
I don't think these guys can sing. I can't.
No, not me.
Did you guys want to try out?
Right away.
We can all shower sing.
Are you sure we can hold special tryouts?
Right now, there's
No.
microphones.
No?
I'll stick to the racing.
I'll turn left.
We've dubbed it the final anthem because that's
Okay.
what you're really going for is the very last anthem. You want to win that. I have 2 contestants right now. Shauna, who's local to Monadnock area, so she's
Okay.
gonna sing at both Monadnock and Claremont. And then I have Stephanie, who's more local to Hudson and Lee, so she's gonna sing those 2.
Okay.
And then the fans get to vote on Facebook or Instagram, and whoever has the most likes on their videos or their photos, like anything related to them, that's the person who wins. So they'll sing, and then there is a $500,
Right.
Giveaway?
yeah,
They'll sing at
prize.
Monadnock Championship
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're trying to
So-
bring everything.
What
at
age
that.
groups are we talking?
For these. I think what I don't know. I don't even
They're
know
in
that
their
that's
they're
what
in
you're
their early
supposed
mid
to ask.
20s.
Okay.
I
I
think
wasn't
the
sure if it was
girls
like a
are.
6-year-old that was getting
No,
$500.
no.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
Well, that's a
no.
lucky 6.
I would like
lucky
to see that at
6-year-old.
some point. Yeah.
I know a lot of 6-year-olds that would be
Right.
happy with
have
that.
have our own like
are cute as a
Whitcomb
button.
Five's got talent instead of
Yeah, but like
we got the driver talent. We just need some singing talent.
Right. No, my goal is to create new fans with it.
Yeah.
Somebody who might not necessarily go to a race is going to go to hear one of the girls sing, one of the
Right.
women sing, and that will hopefully create new fans.
Yeah.
being there to
You
see
can
the
put
race.
it on the website too. You can just put in a
Yeah.
poll if you
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Instagram. How long?
Right.
How long will that be open for? How long would people be able to
Probably
vote? Like
until a few weeks.
a couple weeks, right?
Well, no, like it's gonna go all year. There's
Okay,
only, there's
all
only
year.
well all season.
All
There's
season.
only two people singing, and they're both singing 2 songs, so anthems. So it will go on until
And so we'll be recording that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So put it out on YouTube.
And then, like I said, okay. The other thing we're doing, we're having 3 on-site podcasts.
Yep.
We'll have the one at 11 o'clock in the pit.
Yep.
We're doing that one and everything, and Jackie will be on that one to get everything
It'd be
started and
great
stuff.
to have him back.
Yeah, and then we're going to bring in on some of the other drivers and stuff and get their feelings for it. And of course, that day is going to be a lot of fun. There could be an hour from when they get ready to practice and stuff. So, and then we're doing one at right around 3:30, so that the person that we're not calling it, like I said, the poll. We're calling it the fastest lap because we're doing a redraw.
Yep.
So that person will be on that podcast, and the person that sings the national anthem will be on that podcast as well. And then we're doing a final on-site podcast with the winner of the Whitcomb Classic. So that'll be fun.
A long
And they'll
day of
well,
good
and
stuff.
they'll be there with their trophy, plus they'll get the award for being the first driver to qualify for the championship weekend.
And then they'll be on the website, I'm sure, just as the other
Oh,
gentleman
yeah, they'll
was.
be- yeah,
He was
yeah.
a young guy. I'm still
Right.
not over that. Was he 18?
Oh, and you were talking about Jacob Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he won the first test race we did last year, the Milton Cat 100. Yep.
And were you guys racing last year as well?
Tyler was
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
125.
Yeah, the last one. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because we ran the other series at the Milton Cat 100, and then we ended up going with the NHSTRA series.
Are you still doing the restart line?
I believe we are. We haven't talked a lot about it. That's kind of like been on the back burner because we've had so much other stuff going on. But yeah, and if we do, it'll be called the GW Zone this year, just so that they don't have to sit there and say
GW
the
Promotional.
GW Production
Yeah.
That's what they kept calling it last
Oh,
year.
really?
And Jess was like, "Please, it's promotional group,"
Right.
you know. And they kept saying
No,
production.
GW
So I'm
zone
like,
is
"We'll
good.
just call."
That's good.
Well, and as we go, people are going to know GW is GW promotional.
So if I
which is the
sponsored it, it'd
Whitcomb
just be
5.
Kate Zone. which
Yeah,
would be
right.
weird.
The Kate Zone.
The drivers
Yeah.
would be like,
Maybe
no,
that's what,
I don't want that.
Yeah. So, right. So we're you know, maybe sometime we may call it the Wit 5 Zone or something, or the GW, because we really want to push the Whitcomb 5 series, and it's I want to get the first race under our belt, and then really see what we got.
Yeah.
And how it goes, and get I'm going to check with all the drivers, even the winner down to the person that finishes last, even somebody that doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
And get their I want their reactions. I
Right.
want, what do you guys want? What can we do to make it better for you? I want this to be the driver's tour.
Right.
That's what Jess's goal is.
Yep.
Something I keep toting over and over and over on Facebook is like, I want it to be a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen my post, but like I always say, like somebody else has joined the Whitcomb series family.
Yep.
It's-
I like that.
I want us to be one big racing
Right.
dysfunctional family because
Right.
that's life, and I want us to be able to rely on them and them to rely on us and their sponsors to sponsor us and us to sponsor their sponsors, and that's how you do business. That's how
Right.
you get big. That's how, things should work.
A big thing is business to business.
Yeah.
You know, if we can do business to business, I mean, we got Sunoco and Sandry Energy, with their convenience stores and all that. Now with Truly and everything, and Truly sold at Sandry's. So, you can do some business to business stuff there. We brought in Weaver Brothers Construction. They were announced on a press release and on our Facebook page and all that. They've come in to sponsor the fastest lap at the Whitcomb Classic, but they've got more ideas of what they want to do. They're testing the waters, see what we can do, where we can go from there. They might sponsor the fastest lap at Claremont. They might do more than that. But everybody's testing the waters. Let's see what we got here. Let's not get way ahead of ourselves, because that's something I've taught myself, slow down to go fast. And it's to say the drivers know that they have their crew chiefs in their ears, slow down to go fast. You guys know what I'm talking about. Pedal it a little.
Absolutely.
Get in the corner softer. Come off harder. So.
And how is your father feeling about these upcoming races?
Let's put it this way. I don't talk to him much about it because I don't want him to know.
Okay.
I don't want him to know what's going on. He knows a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know people around the area in Keene, if I've talked to him, I'm like, yeah, when you see my father, you can tell him, but, that's where I've left it. He knows that Brian Ross is going to be there, who was the first winner of the Whitcomb 100. I'm going to be ecstatic to see him. I haven't seen him for forever. S.J. Avanchin, who won in 1980, is going to be there. And I think a lot of these guys might know his son, Dale Avanchin, who raced a lot of stuff. I know with Kirk Alexander and all those guys. But, those are the guys that they were some of the guys to make modified racing what it is nowadays. And, the Whitcomb 100 was NASCAR. And the first one that was actually what it is now with it wasn't the Wheeling Tour. And it was actually before it was the Featherlight Modified Tour. It was just called the NASCAR Modified Tour. Was 1985, and I talked about it when I was down at the expo, and that was the first one. We brought it to Claremont for some reason and ran it as a Whitcomb 100, and Richie Evans won it. So that's there's a lot of history.
And your dad will be at the next race, correct?
He will be at the Whitcomb
Okay.
Classic, yes. Yeah. There's a lot of people coming that can't wait to see him and stuff, and I can't wait for
Is he
these
still
guys.
doing autographs?
I don't know if he's going to do the autographs or not. I'm really trying to make that really about the drivers.
Okay.
But I can't wait for these guys to meet him. I mean, yeah, he's my dad, but he's done a lot for racing. He did a lot with the Cup Series, and win the Daytona 500. That
Have
was
you guys
a
not met him yet?
huge accomplishment.
I have not met him.
I haven't
No.
met him.
No, of course you know his history.
Of course.
Yeah.
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 It's pretty unique. It's pretty neat and everything, and it goes way back before
such
that
a nice
when
guy.
he had the construction business. He just did so much for local racing and the communities and stuff, and this is the least we can do for him. So
Right. That's going to be really exciting. And do you want to share the dates again for those watching?
Yeah, we got the Whitcomb 5 or May 1st at Monadnock Speedway, the Whitcomb Classic. And then we go to June, where we go June 17th to Claremont Motorsports Park. July 15th, we go to Lee USA Speedway. And then from there, we go to Hudson Speedway on August 14th, which is a Sunday afternoon show. And then we wrap it all up championship weekend September 17th, with hoping that if all goes well, we will have a September 16th trackside party.
Mm-hmm. I know you were talking about that.
Yeah, I mean it's there. The date is there for us to do it and everything. But like I said, a lot of things have got to play out and they got to work out and have a reason to have a trackside party, right?
Exactly. And can anyone else do the contest for the national anthem? Anyone listening or watching? Could they?
Not this season.
Okay.
It's,
So deadline happened.
Yeah, it came and it went. But next year, I'm
year.
hoping for bigger and better.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I can imagine most people. And what did you find? It was pretty easy to get those two, or people were very willing, or
People were willing, and these two really stood out of the crowd. So they were our choices.
Yeah.
They were really good.
So I got a couple questions I got to ask the drivers and everything. So, not to give it away, but on a perfect day, okay, a day that you what are you guys visioning that you feel you're going to have to do to win on the first?
I think there's definitely a lot of strategy, obviously, with tire management. There's first you got to get through practice, right? There's going to be a lot of cars there, so I would have to guess there's going to be over 35 cars.
Right.
Which that means there's some unhappy people that are going to have to go home. Hopefully me and Tyler aren't those people. But no, I think there's a lot of strategy when it comes out. The biggest thing for me and my team is when we practice during the day, it's sunny, it's hot. The track changes a lot when we race at night. Granted, we are racing on a Sunday, so the weather shouldn't change that much because the show won't be that late in the day.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of strategy with tire management and track position when it comes down to the pit stop.
And the choose rule.
Absolutely.
Cone rule, choose rule. I like using it. Even though we're using a cone, we're keeping it as the choose rule.
Yeah, it makes it very interesting.
Right. You guys can go from running fifth and then everybody goes to the inside because, granted, that's where you want to restart. But if you can go from fifth to second and just hope to get in line if you have to, but who knows? You might be able to jump, get a better restart than the guy on the front, on the inside. You could be leading going into coming out of two.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I mean, the tracks like Monadnock and Claremont, 1 and 2 they're favorable to the top. I mean, you can get around there on the top, but
right.
at both Claremont and Monadnock, it's kind of hard to get around the top on
and 3 and 4
because it's a little tighter. But
right.
No, I've never. I'm pretty excited about this series due to the fact that I've never raced it like Hudson. I've won at Monadnock and Lee. I've came very close at Claremont a couple times, but no, it should be awesome. I mean, as far as strategy goes, it's kind of like you kind of got to race to the 75 mark, and then the real race is going to happen after the 75 mark. You just got to maintain your car, maintain your track position, and don't abuse your tires on the way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with Sam 100%. It's me and my dad have been talking about it, and I fully agree that who wins that race is going to be who makes the best adjustment at the 75 lap stop. As long as you're in the ballpark, top 10, top 5, whoever makes the best adjustment and has their car handling the best those last 50 laps is who's going to win the race. Right. It's surviving the first 75, staying out of harm's way, and just pacing yourself. And it's cool to have a guy like Sam come and join the series, because he's got some tour stuff under his belt, so he's got some long distance stuff. And for me, it's new. I've been in my 9 years of racing, I've always been put the Jackrabbit setup in it from start to finish, 35 laps as fast as you can go.
30, 35, 50 laps
so
maybe, right?
Last year we had a 100 lapper, and then we had the 125 at the end, and that was like shocking for me. I'm like,
right.
It feels like a millennium in the car. So you just got to pace yourself and.
I know.
Save your equipment.
Corey Plummer made the comment to me. He says I've been wanting races distance like this and everything, and he says now it's here, and I'm going to run a tour car. So he's not even running in the series, and so he I think he's itching. He might try to get in one, but it'll be interesting because you got one tire to put on after those 4. And everybody knows where you're going to put that tire.
Do they though?
Well, yeah, true. I mean, but it's biding your time, like you said.
Yeah.
And both it's taking care of those tires. There's 3 tires that are going to make a difference. The left front's kind of the one that okay.
Yep.
Do you take that and put it on the left rear if you can?
Right.
And
Right.
then switch them around and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things you can
Well,
do.
with the compounds we run too, it's so tough because in practice, if guys are using last year's tires or whatever it may be, these cars on this compound, there's no judgment at all.
Right.
So like you go out for practice, you don't even get a feel for what your car is going to be like until you bolt 4 stickers on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, you get a general sense, but it's kind of tough.
I'm looking forward to it. And Kate, you guys, you'll learn it. You're going to be around it. You can talk with some of the drivers on the the 11 o'clock podcast before. Get some more strategy
I want
from
to
the other
come
people.
down not only by the pit, but down by where all the other racers are. Come into their car,
Yeah, look at see,
Excuse me, sir.
see what's gonna, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it is. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Let's hope that going through the season with the tire issues that they're having, they don't come to what they're talking about. That sometime they can fix this problem. Hopefully, because I would like to see these races go to 150 laps. That's what I wanted them, but we had to go to 125s. I'm good with it because you got a tire issue. We want good racing, so.
I mean, we're all racers, though. As long as the playing field's level, we'll all race on old tires. As long as I know the next guy is the same amount of laps on their tires as I do,
if you're all in the same boat, then it comes down to
we'll race.
driver and
Yep.
and equipment and stuff, and it'll all play out well. But again, I want to go back. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for joining the series.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
We are going to try to do and make this, like Jess and I's goal is, you guys have any issues, any problems, with stuff, or have suggestions is the main thing. Tell us, because we want to hear it, and especially after the race, we want to know what can we do to make it better going forward. So thank you guys.
No,
Thank you.
you.
Yeah,
It's
thank
great
you.
to meet you guys, and Jessica, as always, Greg, as always, wonderful.
Kate, thank you. Jess, anything else you got?
Thank
You're
you to
all
Go
good?
Network.
Oh, well, we could say, wait a minute, no signing off yet.
Okay, all right, I'm waiting.
Apparel, I forgot to say this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to be
Oh.
available at all the tracks.
Okay.
All the tracks we race at, you can get the apparel. It's also available at Apex Racing.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
they're carrying it. So that was pretty cool for me. Like, again, business is doing business with
Right.
other businesses.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things where we have done some things that we weren't planning on doing until next year. Jess has a lot of things that she's really trying to keep under wraps until next year. But we have some other things that we want to do with the drivers and for the drivers going into 23. But again, let's get race number 1 off the ground.
Let's do it. Well, this is a great kickoff.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, I really think I'm done this time.
Okay.
Okay. You're
Oh,
done.
wait a minute. No,
Sam
just
again, Tyler again.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.
And
And we're
thanks to Truly.
Thank you, guys.
And New Hampshire Lottery.
It's my watermelon kiwi is very good.
Sandry and Sunoco and Weaver Brothers for coming on with us. And there's more to come.
And that's a wrap.